love the alcohol, la 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all, la 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 la. But my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every motherfucker must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris.
I'm Russ.
And this is episode 294.
294, back in the virtual nerd basement. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight on a lovely Tuesday afternoon, evening here in D-Town.
Yeah.
It was a lovely kind of like low 70s day. I took the last 2 days off of work because I caught a kind of a gnarly cold that kind of kicked me in the ass, and I didn't want it to be COVID, so I didn't go to work and check the COVID and stuff. And I am COVID clear,
Cool.
but still didn't, kind of wanted to take
good.
Another day to make sure.
Yep.
But it's a bummer because I almost wish I had gone to work because it would have been a nice day in the studio.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of those.
Not in early October, this kind of Indian summer that we're getting. Although, I don't know, are we still allowed to call it that?
No.
No? What are we supposed to call it then?
I don't remember what it is now. It's like second summer or something like that.
Oh, okay.
ACD, thank you very much for the subscribe. 13 months, man. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty great, man. Thank you very much.
CD says you just got canceled, Russ.
Man, if I got canceled on for calling this warm streak we're having at in fall here a Native American summer, I'm falling down on the job then, I guess. I don't know. I thought I would have gotten canceled long before that.
Sometimes we call this second summer. There's a strong case to be made for Badger summer, pastrami summer.
Pastrami summer?
Yeah. Or quince summer.
Why Badger summer?
I don't know, and I'm not going to read that whole article. I'm just seeing the little brief thing on Google. But most people choose second summer, which is what I thought. So CD was also asking, what are we going to do for 300? He's going to do a Sparta episode?
I am not wearing that costume. Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody needs to see all this.
We'll get negative views. Negative views. That ain't right. Well, originally we had talked about maybe like doing a show at the at Bottoms Up again.
Well, yeah, but
at Ren Fair, but it wouldn't have fallen in 300.
Right.
That would have been a cool thing. But now Ren Fair is over, and we didn't jump on that. I don't know. We should try and do something special.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you say? It's 394?
294 right now. So we got 6 weeks.
So we got 6 weeks to come up with something interesting.
Let's see where that'll put us.
Already super fucking swamped.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, that sixth one, when episode 300 is, we're probably going to miss because I will probably have to be in New York for work.
Oh, wow!
Because that would be November 15th.
Well, we'll still need to do something, eventually.
But that would mean that it would fall the following week, so it would fall Thanksgiving week, which is usually when you miss.
My friends are here.
So we'll have to figure something out.
We'll figure something out. We'll have to do a Thanksgiving episode. Yeah, just do a show on Thanksgiving on that Thursday.
There's not gonna be. We can do it at 12:30 because there's no football to watch at that point. It's just the Lions game.
Right. It's just a nice game. Work.
They'll score 40 points and give up 50, just like they've been doing all year.
That's what they've been doing.
We've been talking in the Discord chat tonight. And Rich actually brought up the fact that the Lions have the number one offense in the league. They have scored more points than anybody else, and they're 1-3 because they have out of 32 teams, they have the 32nd ranked defense.
Oh no.
So they're number one in offense. They're first in offense, last in defense.
Whose fault is that? I mean, who's fucking bright idea?
The defensive coordinator, really. Aaron Glenn's getting blamed for all of it right now. And there's a good chance. There's a lot of talk that he's going to get fired. Which sucks because I actually like the guy. I think he's a good coach. It's just it's not working. What he's doing, just his schemes just aren't working out. And it may be that he just doesn't have the talent yet.
Okay. I can not speak on this. I have no idea.
But we'll see what happens. So how was your week?
What was my week? What happened in my week? Just a lot of work, obviously. We had a crap ton of work. The hurricane in Florida, of course, slowed a lot of stuff down my friends Linda and Chris were supposed to fly in on Thursday, and they were not able to get here until Saturday to close out the Renaissance Festival. So that was a bit of a drag. I also, as you well know, I lost my grandmother of last week. So that was a little, it sucked, but it was also not unexpected. I mean, she was quite old, and and her health was failing, and she was 93 years old. What are you gonna do? My grandfather on that side actually had his birthday was yesterday.
Oh,
so yeah, happy birthday.
Renee lost somebody that she knew. She hadn't talked to her in a while, but woman, 29 years old.
Oh man,
she just got engaged.
Oh man, that's awful.
Was driving back from up north, I guess, with her fiance, and just collapsed in the car.
Oh man, you're kidding.
Nope.
That's terrible, dude. So anyway, so that was my week, essentially, recovering from that. I did not end up going to Ren Fair closing weekend. I just didn't really kind of feel up to it, and which is a shame, because there was a time when being up at Ren Fair would have probably given me a lot of comfort, and stuff like that from when it came to the loss of my grandmother and shit. So, yeah, that was kind of my week. We, Linda and Chris are here for another day or so, and then I think they're leaving tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of adjusting my seat. They're leaving tomorrow and going back to Florida, doing that hike to go back down to Florida. And I'm going to try and go back to work tomorrow and hopefully be productive.
Well, I hope you feel better. And damn, CD,
Thanks.
That's impressive. He said his last grandparent, his grandma, is over 100.
Wow.
That's an impressive life.
That's amazing. I've often thought about that, what a 100-year-old person has seen in their lifetime. It's just such an incredible accomplishment.
Well, Renee's grandmother, who's 93, remembers the invention of the vacuum.
Jesus. Wow. I'd say that would be equitable to remembering when the invention of the VCR for us. Mean, yeah, I mean, that was...
Said her husband was in World War II Navy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, and Betty White, that was the big joke, was Betty White was older than sliced bread.
Pardon me, what?
Betty White was older than sliced bread.
She was born before commercially sliced bread?
Yes.
That's funny.
That was one of the things they said, because they used to say sliced bread is the best thing since Betty White.
Wow, that's crazy. How was your week? What did you do?
My week was pretty typical. Played cornhole and lost on Wednesday. Had our game on Friday.
Yep, good time.
Oh, Renee just said, "Wait, you remember the invention of the VCR?"
God damn it. You know, you'd remember it better than I, because you're
Yeah, I do
big
remember. I remember our first one. Click.
like crunch coke.
Yeah. Always sounded like you were
Rewound.
crushing the tape in there.
Yeah, kind of.
But we had the great big buttons that stuck out like 3 inches out in the front, and you actually pushed them down. They were actually like toggles.
Yeah, right. When it rewound, it sounded like it was gonna like take off.
Yep. But yeah, we had our game on Friday. It was a lot of fun. Really good game. Another one that was pretty much all RP driven, but you guys have moved on. You are traveling. We left it, you just gotten to High Folk, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, that's what we'll be picking up. Oh, Renee said I wasn't trying to be an ass. That was genuine.
Well,
I remember the first time I saw a Laserdisc player, a VCR, a computer, like a
CD.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, hell, I remember cassettes. I mean, cassettes weren't. I don't really remember cassettes coming out. I just remember having cassettes.
Right. Yeah. Because cassettes were definitely. I mean, I remember 8-tracks. I remember occasionally like 8-tracks. 8-tracks were kind of on the way out.
Yeah.
When I was getting older.
8-tracks were on the way out when I was.
Right.
Because I mean, they didn't really 8-tracks. While they were there for an eye blink, they really never took off.
Yeah, not as much as albums did. They were the thing that kind of that went between albums and cassettes, and it just didn't quite make it, you know. Yeah, late 70s.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Saturday. What did I do? Oh, I went and watched the Chelsea game on Saturday, and then we went over to Renee's grandmother's, speaking of grandparents, to do apple picking.
Oh, that's cool.
For the 2 apple trees that she has in her yard, help clear them out. And then Sunday I watched football. As disappointing as that was, lost in fantasy football again. I'm 0-3 this week. This year, my team is one of the worst teams I've ever drafted.
Oh man!
In 30 years of playing fantasy football, I don't know that I've had a team that's scored less points. This is the first week I think
You've been playing fantasy football that long?
Oh yeah, I've been playing since the mid-90s. So I mean, not quite 30 years. It's been about 25. But yeah.
Still, I didn't know that.
Yep. But yeah, other than that, it's been work. We're getting our new fence put in this week.
We lead such exciting lives, Chris. Yep. We really do.
Yep.
That's why we have to indulge in.
I got half of my birthday present from Renee today.
Half?
Yeah, because she was having trouble finding something for me, and so she kept asking what I wanted, and I kept saying I don't know. And I finally came up with something, and so she got it for me. It's the Dwarven Forge Cavern set.
Oh, cool.
But I haven't opened it yet because I might actually do an unboxing video again.
Oh, that'd be neat. So, cool. Cool.
But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And then she said she found something else afterwards, and she's like, so that's just half your present. I'm getting you this too. And she hasn't told me what it is, so.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm just waiting on it. But yeah, it's so far it's been the weather's been really nice.
The weather has
been
nice.
We're getting our new privacy fence put in along the one side. So that'll be nice once it's in. Should be in tomorrow. They dug
haven't you been having like kind of the occasional problem with your neighbors? That's kind of why.
No, we're doing this because we wanted one over there. They've got a privacy fence 3 feet over because the owner, like 2 owners ago, had agreed to do a privacy fence along that thing, and then when they actually went to start doing it, they went, you know what? No, I don't want it there. I want the chain link to stay. So they, by city code, had to, if they wanted a privacy fence, which they did because they have a pool, they they had to move it. They had to have it 3 feet over from the fence or from the line from the existing fence, so that it doesn't create a rat run.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, every week he's got to be out there mowing it. He makes one pass down and then just backs it up because all it takes is one pass with the mower.
Hmm.
But yeah, so he's happy that they're going to get 3 feet of their yard back, because once this goes up, he's taking that secondary fence down. So a rat run, CD. It's like a run where you can't cut the grass, so the grass just grows up and rats can run through there.
Right.
It's not just rats; it's any sort of animal, like small rodents can get in there.
Cool.
But yeah, overall, not a bad week. But yeah, I am definitely
Alrighty.
enjoying the weather right now.
Yeah, it has been really nice, man. Gotta admit, been
Yep.
nice last. Gotta enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, unfortunately, with doing the I've got a beautiful window right here, and nice big window to look out while I'm working and stuff. But and I have the window open a lot, especially this time of year. But I can't have it open while we're doing the show generally, because you hear too much from outside.
Yeah.
But
so what are you drinking? I'm not drinking tonight. I was like, I'm just kind of taking it easy because I got this cold going. But
well, with it being this time of year, it's a little late for this technically, but I am drinking an Oktoberfest, also known as a Marzen beer. This is an authentic Bavarian festival lager. It is 5.8% alcohol by volume, and it is by Ayinger Private Brewery. It actually is a German brewery. That's the bottle right there. Kind of a cool bottle. But yeah, it's their Oktoberfest. It is a beautiful coppery color, which is exactly what an Oktoberfest should be. It's got that that's the same smell as a like red or something like that. It's all grains and roasted notes. And then I'm gonna take another sip here. It's all the taste of the malt. It's the hops are in there to balance out some of the sweetness, but a lot of the sweetness still comes through. It's not really cloyingly sweet. It is a little sweeter than I generally like, but this style should be just a touch sweet. It is actually really good, really fantastic, very smooth. So I definitely I'll give this a solid 4. Easy, maybe in a 4.25 for the style. But yeah, if you can find it, this was actually introduced to me and Renee by the brewer over at Rare Look Brewing. He had some and he let us try it, and it was delicious. So we actually, when we went to Total Wine, we found it. And but yeah, it's Ayinger Oktoberfest. If you can find it and you like that style, more of a malty beer, it's excellent. You should I definitely suggest picking up a 4-pack. I think that's what it is. It's in 4-packs. We also picked up their Doppelbock, which I will do at another time, because that's another one that's really good.
Already.
CD's got his favorite double hazy IPA, Out of This World, from Third Space Brewing. 8.52%. I like that they put the 0.02 at the end there. The 8.52. They got to take it out to that next decimal point. Limited run, I believe, but get it if you see it. Okay. I haven't even heard of Third Space. I don't know if they distribute here in Michigan. They're out of Milwaukee. I said that to Renee today, and that made some comments. Like, oh, is that a real thing? And I went, oh, that's right. You haven't seen Wayne's World yet.
Wayne's World, yeah.
He has not seen Wayne's World yet, so
it's all right. It's all right. That's a forgivable one. That's very much our generation.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make her watch it.
Oh well, yeah, Adoy. You
Oh,
absolutely have to.
Renee said she's drinking Icelandic gin.
Icelandic gin.
Yep.
Okay. Is there something special about Icelandic gin, or is it just because is it just fancy?
No, it's just from Iceland. It's she really likes it. I know a friend of ours picked it up in Iceland when he was there. So it's funny. I put in Third Space Brewing available, and then it auto-filled the top thing is in Michigan.
Mm-mm.
Let's see.
This shit's learning.
3026.
Oh,
Oh, it looks like. Oh, nope. I put in the nearest place is not within 5 miles of me. Is Milwaukee. So it looks like it is only available in Milwaukee, according to this. Or in probably in the regions around.
Yeah.
But next time I'm in Wisconsin, I will have to take a look for it.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you want to start with tonight?
Well, we got a whole bunch of news coming out of CD Projekt Red.
Yes, we do, and that was one of the things I had that I was going to talk about.
Why don't
Big shakeup.
Sorry, medicine head. Yeah, let's start with that. Go right. It's
So big shakeup in the upper echelons. There's going to be new leadership and some movement around there. But the other big news is that they announced some big time gaming news.
Yeah.
Like 5 new Witcher games.
Yep.
One of which will be a new Witcher trilogy.
Right. It says it arguably topped the list of CD Projekt Red's confirmation that The Witcher 4, known internally as Project Polaris, will be the first game in a trilogy. We already knew that it would be part of a multi-game saga, but Polaris has now officially been described as the beginning of a new Witcher trilogy. The 4th game teased earlier this year with the unique Witcher medallion thought to represent a lynx is said to be in pre-production, but all 3 games are currently aimed to be delivered within a 6-year period following the Polaris release. There's no word on a Witcher 3 or Witcher 4 release date, just yet, but this does mean we should see The Witcher 5 arrive 3 years after its launch, with The Witcher 6 following 3 years after that. That's a lot. That's a lot to do in a relatively short amount of time.
Yep. Oh, that's right, Renee. I forgot about that. Me reenacting the car scene from Wayne's World when they're listening to Bohemian Rhapsody. With Wiggins, Bob, Ed, a few other people. We all started doing the headbanging thing all like instantaneously. Renee says that was the night she knew she was going to marry me.
Well, that's fucking adorable. Thanks, guys. I thought I wasn't going to throw up tonight, but now I'm certain I will.
Well, the other big news is they've announced basically a sequel to Cyberpunk 2077.
Correct.
As well as an expansion to the current Cyberpunk 2077.
Well, the expansion was announced like a week or 2 ago. And it certainly got everybody, which is Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.
Yep.
Which got a lot of people very excited. It's supposed to take place within the game, within the beginning of the game, or within the story of the game. Because if you've played through the end of Cyberpunk, you realize that they really, if you want to continue to play your character, they really can't add on shit to the end, which is kind of a shame. So any add-ons for this game will have to take place within the actual storytelling of the game.
I still haven't finished it.
Yeah, if you finish the game and then you want to go play the DLC, it'll probably plop you somewhere in the middle, or whatever, or at least before you do the end game. It does give you an opportunity to save right before the end game, so you can go back and continue to play if you want before you do the actual end game stuff. So my guess is that that will happen here. But yes, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty was revealed earlier this year with the trailer. They didn't provide much of an update on that front, but we know it's in the final stages of production and may well mean it's closer to dropping than we initially thought.
All right.
They're saying it is now like probably first quarter of next year.
So I want to know, final stages of production and almost ready to go. Does that mean that it's going to be a year before it's playable?
Well, my guess is no. They have made substantial strides in the game and fixing the game.
Well,
I mean, it is now that they have fixed the game, essentially, now that they have repaired it, did all the patching that is necessary, it is a very good game. It is the story is fantastic, the graphics are incredible. It is a very solid game now at this point. It's just too bad that it took a year and a half. It took at least 6 months to get it to be playable on most of the other systems. It took at least a year and a half to get it right. And now it's now it's at its ideal stage.
yeah. The other thing that about this is the sequel for Cyberpunk is actually being developed by their newly created CD Projekt North America.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yep. It's going to be CD Projekt North America will be doing the Cyberpunk. They also are planning more TV shows and movies based on Cyberpunk 2077 as well.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that honestly, from what I understand, the premiere of the Cyberpunk anime, or at least Cyberpunk animated series on Netflix, was enough to get people re-interested in the game again, and shot up the amount of like repurchasing or people playing the game again. Like on Steam, they were seeing huge numbers of people playing it again on the computer. Sales have jumped up again to purchase it. I mean, it's still for sale at its original $59.99 price, if I remember correctly. It has gone on sale a number of times, but its normal retail price, they haven't dropped it yet. God dang. Excuse me. It does say it's called Project Orion at the moment. Is the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, they're just giving them code names right now.
It says a full-fat Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. It'll prove the full power and potential of the Cyberpunk universe, seemingly positioning the game as a way to both expand on the original title and to paint over the issues it's faced after its launch.
Well,
the studio hasn't commented on the status of the sequel, but we can reasonably assume it's in pre-production at most.
They also announced that for all these new games, they are dropping their proprietary game engine and going to be using Unreal.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't see why. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, Unreal is a proven engine.
That's what everyone uses right now.
Yeah, for this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what they use. So, short of some of the bigger games like Bethesda. So, because I don't think Bethesda uses them.
I thought they did too, but maybe not.
Maybe. I have to look that up. CD Projekt co-founder and CEO Marcin Iwinski is parting ways with his former role to begin a new personal chapter, quote unquote, as chairman of the supervisory board by the end of 2022. So he's not leaving the company; he's leaving the position.
Right, and I heard that that's not official yet. What I had read was that he's putting in to become that, to take over that position.
It says the announcement came by way of an official statement posted on Twitter with a message from Iwinski, who founded the company almost 30 years ago with Michael Kaczynski. In my new non-executive role, I will remain active and engaged in dedicating my focus on supporting the entire management board. I also remain connected to the core of what makes us special, which is making the best storytelling games in the world and doing it at gamers.
Yeah. What I saw was that he said that he announced he would step down from his role as joint CEO and submit his candidacy for chairman of CD Projekt's supervisory board via Twitter. And that was from just earlier today.
They also made a statement saying that The Witcher 3 on PS5 and Xbox Series X is due to launch by the end of this year. Rumor had it that it would stealth drop today, which would have been, sorry, this is from like yesterday, I think. This is from today. This is from today, actually. But that hasn't quite happened. Instead, CDPR says that it's still planned for this year, although it doesn't give the duo of next-gen ports a date. I really enjoyed Witcher 3. Like, it was a fucking blast. I don't know.
I need to go back. I need to actually finish it. I've started playing it. I've barely scratched the surface of it.
It's a great game. I don't know if I'll go back and play it again. I'm already playing. I've already played it. It's amazing. I mean, I still have it, so maybe I'll dig it out again. If the upgrade is free, then sure. Because I have it for my 4.
Yeah, I've got it for my 4, and I'm not plugging the 4 back in right now.
No. Like I said, it was a fantastic game. Absolutely loved it. I just have so many other things to play right now that I don't think that's good.
And there's just more coming.
Oh, right. Exactly. I picked up Last of Us Part 1, the revamped edition. I probably could have just waited. I should have just waited. I paid relatively full price for it. I should have just waited. It'll be cheaper in a few months. But I was just kind of like, I really want to play these games. I really want to play Last of Us 2, but it's been so long since I played Last of Us 1. I really want to replay it. And the new version is gorgeous. So we'll see.
But speaking of video games and everything coming out, there's a shit ton of stuff coming out this month. A lot of it I want to play.
Such as?
Well, Overwatch 2 came out today.
Yeah.
That's free to play now. It is a free to play game. Yes. Overwatch 2 is a free to play game. I enjoyed Overwatch. I never really got into the whole melee battles. But I did play around with it a lot, and I played around with different characters. I enjoyed it. It is fun, but it is a battle royale game.
Right.
So
I did enjoy the character creation. I thought the character designs were really great. Some really cool, very original characters. I thought it was great.
Yep. I actually got really good with the sniper. There's a girl that's a sniper and a healer. I wasn't a great healer, but I could snipe people pretty well. But yeah, so that came out today. We've got Scorn coming out on October 14th. Which, have you seen this one at all yet?
I've heard something about it.
It's a horror game, and it looks like it was designed by Geiger. It is,
but yes.
It is completely that style horror.
I forgot about it. I'll eat it later. Thanks. Sorry, Chris.
Right. But yeah, it is that type of horror.
It's like H.R. Giger kind of like design and everything.
You're the only person I've ever heard say Giger.
I believe it is pronounced Giger.
Every person I've ever heard is Geiger.
As an artist who has studied him, I mean, it's been a long time, but I don't know, something we can look up as well. Well, he was a master of what he did, so I'm sure that it's gonna probably end up looking really cool. Even if it was just inspired by him.
A bunch of things that actually say how to do it. It's all YouTube stuff. It's all stuff they want you to listen to, and I'm not going to do that right now. So anyway, but that one comes out on the 14th. If you're into those types of games, that's not going to be one for me.
It actually on his Wikipedia, Giger. Hans Rudig, and it's got a phonetic. It's G-H-E-E in all caps, small G-R. So Giger. H.R. Giger.
Okay. I've never heard anyone say it that way.
Yeah.
Skyrim 2, I have no idea, CD.
Skyrim 2. There's still well, that would be Elder Scrolls 6, and they're still talking. I mean, they've said that there won't be a release date, even close to a release date on that until after the new what's it called, the new one that they've got coming out, Bethesda. It's what is it? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know.
Starfield. Once Starfield comes out in sometime in 23, I believe in early 23, they're going to be pushing that for quite a while, and then they'll say that probably after that, then we'll start seeing dates on Elder Scrolls 6. But
They got to release Skyrim at least 4 more times before they actually,
Probably not probably not until at least 24 or 25, I think, because it is still in heavy pre-production.
I should probably get back to Skyrim. I stopped playing it when I went back to work. I haven't played it in like 6 months.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
But anyway, back to this. On the 18th, we have Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed.
Oh, yeah.
Which in this one, you actually can play as one of the ghosts. You can actually play as Slimer and go around and slime people.
Yeah.
Looks like it could be entertaining. Graphics look cool. Also on the 18th is one that this game, well, I don't know if I'll play it. The graphics look amazing, and that's A Plague Tale Requiem.
Oh, yes.
It's part of the Plague Tale series, I guess, which I didn't know about, but it's a medieval stealth-focused rat avoidance game.
Yeah, I've got one of them on. It was a free game it was one of the PlayStation free games one month that I downloaded. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard really good things.
It looks fantastic. I mean, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Again, that's the 18th. On the 19th, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection comes to PC for the first time. I mean, it's already out for the Xbox and PlayStation, but it finally comes to PC. On the 21st, we get New Tales from the Borderlands, which looks fantastic. It's very much in the Telltale style, and with that kind of comic booky art that they do.
Cell drawn,
yeah. And it looks absolutely fantastic. I love that style of game. So I might have to get that. I've always heard good things about the Borderlands games. I've never actually played them.
Me too.
They've always been high on my list, but I've never actually played them.
Right. I've watched them being played. I've had a couple of. I've been sitting in the room while people have played it, and I've gone, all right. I see the appeal, but I've never taken the time to do it and everything. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just again, can't play everything, and it does look really good. I just don't. I mean, I just don't have the time, and as well too. There's less of a story, from what I understand. There's a lot of running around, shooting, and getting things and stuff, and I like a really heavy plot-driven kind of thing. But I have heard that Tiny Tina's Wonderland is really fucking awesome.
I've heard good things about that too. Yep.
Well, that's a spin-off of Borderlands, but it's a fantasy, and it's the character of Tiny Tina basically playing D&D, and she's the dungeon master, and you're. So I'm like, I might want to play that.
I'm going to hold off on the other game that's coming out on the 21st, but the DLC for Resident Evil Village comes out on the 28th. The Shadow of Rose looks fantastic. The graphics look amazing. Again, another horror game, not really my style, but and then also on the 28th we get Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. But if you want Warzone 2.0, then you have to wait until November 16th because they're not launching that until then, which is their Battle Royale area. I played one of the Call of Duties, and so like we've talked about before, I like some of those types of games, like the third-person shooter type games. I really got into Far Cry 5, which was the one that really got me into it.
Right, I played all the way through that too, and I had never played any of the Far Cry 5 or Far Cry games. until
I hadn't
you
either.
showed me 5, and I went, I think I want to play this. And it was pretty fucking badass. It's a great game. The story is just really engaging.
Yep.
It's really fantastic.
Well, and then I'm still playing because I stopped playing it for, well, hell, it's been close to a year now. Ghost Recon. And that's another one that's very much like that. Only it's more military type of thing. You're actually a military person. But it was that one's great as well. But I'm like, well, I'll give Call of Duty a try. Everyone talks about how great it is and everything like this. I didn't like it. I found it to be the graphics to be kind of campy compared to, and cartoonish compared to what I was used to playing. I didn't like the style of play and movement. But it's that one's more of a first person shooter, which that's not. I have trouble with first person shooters a lot of times. It's actually, I love the BioShock games, or at least the one that I played. But I had trouble with it because it's a first person shooter. I don't aim well in a first person shooter.
Okay.
But anyway, that comes out on the 28th. I know that a lot of people will buy it. But the one I was saving, also on the 21st of October, we get Gotham Knights. And this will be one that I will
right around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will definitely be playing this. This is the continuation of the Arkham series.
Correct.
Where Batman is dead and the Bat family is investigating his disappearance, really.
Yeah. You play you play Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin, all at different points in the game. Or I think it's at different points in the game, or you can, and I think there are different points where you can choose.
Yeah, you can. There are certain points where you can choose who you want to play, and there are certain points where you have to play certain people.
Correct. And of course, they all have their own abilities. They all have their own gadgets. They all have their own special attacks and fight styles. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fucking badass.
It looks phenomenal. The graphics look incredible.
Yeah.
But one of the things, I saw a review on it, and the guy's like, Clayface is in it.
Cool. Clayface is a great villain.
But yeah, he was especially when he's voiced by Alan Tudyk.
That's true. It's true.
Wait, it's not Clayface, it's Billy Bob.
That's right. I will be the director's chair. So funny. Tudyk does he does the voice of the Joker too on that show. He does a bunch of, yeah. The guy's an incredible actor.
He is.
Yeah.
I'm
excited for that game.
With him. What was it he was talking about the role that he went out for?
He went out for Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, that's what it was.
But he didn't get it. They gave it to Bradley Cooper for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
Bradley Cooper. And then, but it ended up being a good thing because
that not let him getting K2SO.
Right, not getting K2SO or not getting Rocket Raccoon let him get K2SO. So, pretty. I'd say that's a silver lining. That's kind of a silver lining.
You don't get it in the MCU, but you get it in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, So Cyberpunk 2077. If you were to purchase it on Steam right now, it is still selling at $59.99. Now that's saying something, considering that this is a game that at one point was selling for generally about half that, because nobody, people were so fed up and pissed off. That they were returning it, or they were, demanding their money back. So they had dropped it down to at least half that. Now they picked it back up because it's repaired, it's fixed, and still a solid game.
It's foaming over.
It's really crazy to me that some of these games are going. We're playing games for a lot longer than we used to. Certain types of games. Look at Skyrim. Skyrim's been around for 11, 12 years now. We've got a game like The Witcher 3, which has been around for, like 8, 9, 10 years. The Witcher 4, the next couple of Witcher games, the Cyberpunk game. All these games, a lot of longevity. And as long as you're continuing to keep, updating it with new content or updating new, just various new things to keep people interested, These games they can last for a long, long time. And they should. It takes a long time to fucking make them.
Yeah, Witcher 3 came out. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt came out May 18th, 2015.
2015. All right. So, well, that's 7 years. That's incredible. That's I mean, and like I said, like Skyrim, I believe it's 11 or 12 years now at this point.
It was November of 2011.
So 11 years.
I didn't realize Skyrim
So
was before Witcher 3. That was one I didn't know.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you say, oh, for sure, but I said I didn't know.
Oh, I know, but I did. I'm sorry. It's and there's still very well and well played games. It's kind of like I remember I used to go to the GameSpot website all the time, and GameSpot, not GameStop. And GameSpot had like a ranking of the top games that were being played. And I believe it was StarCraft was in the top 10 for years. Like for
StarCraft
years.
Was great.
StarCraft and
then the original StarCraft was fantastic. I didn't play 2.
But it's just funny, like, to see how some of these games they maintain. I mean, StarCraft was one of the first games was one of the earlier games, not maybe one of the first, but one of the earlier games that was played competitively for like big money prizes. And still is, from what I understand.
Yeah. I used to play, the first game I ever played online against other people was actually Warcraft 2.
Sure.
Me and my cousin used to get together and play it. We would team up and play against like 2 other people, or we'd play against each other.
I played Warcraft a bit. I played Warcraft 2 and 3, I believe. Because it went 3, right? Warcraft.
Yeah, they went to Warcraft 3, yeah.
And then when World of Warcraft came out, I kind of, I didn't really get into that. I played that a little bit when it first went free to play.
Yeah, I was playing EverQuest and refused to go to Warcraft until enough people in my guild dropped EverQuest, and I'm like, all right, I'll go give Warcraft a try, and wound up getting on there and running into people and playing with people that I knew and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty much the.
And then Star Wars came out, and that was pretty much my game for the last decade.
You, yeah.
That's another one that's been out for a decade. Is Star Wars: The Old Republic.
But that was the thing that essentially, the issue with City Heroes too. City Heroes was extremely popular. For a while was the most popular MMO, and then World of Warcraft came out, and suddenly everybody abandoned it because that was the thing. At the time, most people didn't have, and people still don't have the time. Really, a lot of people anyway, to commit to more than one of those games at a time. Because MMOs could be such a time suck.
Yep.
Such a time and energy suck.
I used to be able to play 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I've still got subscriptions to both Star Wars and World of Warcraft, and I should probably just cancel both of them. But I've been in the Star Wars: The Old Republic since beta. It's hard for me to let that go. I still want to play it. I haven't played the latest expansion.
Mm-hmm. Of what? World of Warcraft?
No, of Star Wars. I haven't played the last 3 expansions of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, and when I was playing that I played it for like a month when, like I said, when it went free to play. I was staying at Sean and Sarah's before I had moved into my house here, so it's 10 years ago, give or take. And I got it. I understood. I mean, actually, if I remember correctly, it was right around when City Heroes was ending too. And like I said, I understood after playing it for about a month, I understood why it was so popular. I mean, I was like, wow, yeah, I get it. But I still was like, I just can't, I'm not going to get into this game right now. But at the time I was playing City Heroes, and I think I was playing Guild Wars 2 for a while. I did try Elder Scrolls Online for a bit, which is quite a bit newer. It's just none of those games grabbed me quite like City Heroes did.
So I've done EverQuest 2, There was, oh, what the hell was the name of the one? There was like the first sci-fi one. I did Star Wars Galaxies. I did Aeon. I did Rifts. I did Warhammer. Which actually I really liked Warhammer.
I did Warhammer. Warhammer was fun. I did try that one.
Yeah, Warhammer was a lot of fun. I liked the graphics. The graphics were amazing. I liked the character development.
Character design was amazing.
Yes. I did Star Wars: The Old Republic. I did WoW. I've done a ton. I've tried out a lot of different games. I never tried the Elder Scrolls Online. I wanted to when it first came out, and then I heard horrible things about it. Oh, I tried Neverwinter online, which that one's interesting, but I just never got into it. I tried Guild Wars 2. Another beautiful game that I just never got into.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2 was interesting because it's just very different. You know, I like the fact that the elves were actually like plant people.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool kind of thing. Very European. I do have an account on Neverwinter. For Neverwinter, it's a free account, you know, and I play it every once in a while. I mean, it's kind of cool to play D&D setting kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure. I think I've still got one. I don't even know if I've still got it on my computer here.
I have New World from.
Oh yeah, New World I got, and I tried it out. I don't like it. I don't like its play style.
I think I want to get in, try playing it some more. I mean, they've been constantly updating it, so
there's too much. There's too much crafting and stuff that you have to do.
There's a lot of fucking crafting,
and that's not my thing. That's one of the things that got me out of Star Wars Galaxies was that, you know, it was all crafting and stuff like that. It was or there was a large chunk of it that was crafting.
But I do have the revamped or the redone City of Heroes now too, which has been fun to get back into. And
yeah, it looks like I do not have the Neverwinter game on here. I thought I did. I must have removed it.
Crazy. But yeah, it's you know, like I said, it's the good there was some really great stuff was made in those games. Some really great. I mean, it changed the way gaming was done for quite a while.
Yeah, well, Renee and I used to sit, and when we first got together, because I was playing Star Wars, and when we got together, she's like, she was never into MMOs, but she was like, I want to play that. So we got her a copy and set up a computer for her, and she started playing. And her and I, that was one of the things we would do is we had certain characters that we would only play when we played together.
Mm-hmm.
So they leveled up pretty much at the same time. And it was a blast. We would sit in the same room and play that. And what was funny was if we wound up in a group with guildmates and we're all on, like, at the time, I think it was like TeamSpeak. It was before the whole Discord thing. But we would be on there and we'd be talking with them, and we would be talking back and forth, not thinking about the fact that they can't hear us. Because we're talking plans and stuff like that. And and then we're like, oh wait, hey. Yes, it is very rare, CD. It's one of the reasons I married her.
That's fucking true. When I was playing City Heroes, I had a couple of groups that I would group up with and that we only grouped together, and we would sidekick with each other too. So, you know, like, it was pretty cool because sidekicking would allow you to kind of like more powerful characters.
Yeah, you could
play with less powerful characters, things like that. Or we'd team up, and so there were times that we did some really cool stuff at times. There was one thing that some old friends, we all did Defender characters. We all created Defender. He wanted an experiment. He wanted to see how the game would play if we did it this way. We all created Defender characters. We all created a similar power set. Like, we all had to have at least the same secondary power set, and then we'd have different primary power sets. And because in the game we had primary and secondary, and we walked in and we were destroying things, man. It was just, there was 5 of us. We all had the same kind of thing, because there was another thing you could do, a tertiary power set that would basically allow you to buff other people around you, and they stacked. So all of us had these same tertiary power, buffing power thing. And then we'd send out these sniper attacks that were like, it took an extra few seconds to go off, but when they did, just we were taking out things left and right. It was like just walking through, and you could adjust the difficulty level of the dungeons and the missions you were going through. The guys that whoever's mission it was would amp the difficulty all the way up to the top, and even doing that, we would just walk through these dungeons, these missions, no problem. And we'd get done, we'd get out. It would also, because you amped up the difficulty, the payoff at the end of experience was way more. I just watched you could just watch your XP thing just go level. I think I leveled up twice on one mission because we were real low level still. But I had enough, I like maybe level 6 or 7. And I think I leveled up from 6 to 9 doing just one pretty bigger deal, mission. I was man. I think they I think the game developers ended up nerfing that. So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the one I've been playing the most lately is MechWarrior Online, which is a free to play battle royale in giant robots.
Yeah.
Because I started playing that again. I was in the beta for it, and then I started playing it again when a couple of my buddies got on, and then actually me, Renee, Bob, and Ed would get together and play it all at the same time. We'd be like a group of 4, and we would actually team up and go off, and because out of the 12 people on the team, we're a third of the team. What was funny was when we all had urban mechs, which are little light mechs that are super like buff. They don't have a lot of weapons on them, but what we would do is they're really really little, and they're very tough actually.
Okay.
For light mechs, and we stayed together and we would go after the assault mechs. We actually had an Atlas. We took him out. He didn't take any of us out, and we Irby power. Yep. And I'm like, can you just imagine what's going through this guy's head? He's in this 100-ton mech, and all of a sudden he's just fucking swarmed by Irbies, which are known for being super slow. And one of their advantages is they can turn 360. Their torso, they can actually spin their torso around. You can actually turn around and be running one direction and shooting behind you. But we just swarmed around this Atlas, and he was down in seconds.
Okay.
And then we moved on to the next one. We kept doing it until they all swarmed on us. After about the second or third one that we took out, their entire team came back to take us out.
Because fuck these guys.
Well, yeah, we were taking out all their heavy support because they can't move that fast, and we're so small that a lot of them, if we got in close, they couldn't hit us.
Right.
Because they couldn't torso twist down to see us.
That's funny. Hey man, if that's the way you're going to play the game, that's the way you got to play the game.
So, so one of the other things from the weekend before we get into She-Hulk, one of the other things that I did over the weekend was I caught up on House of the Dragon, but I also watched DC League of Superpets.
Yes, I haven't watched it yet. It's on HBO Max, and I've heard lovely things about it. It's doing very well financially, actually.
It
was in the theaters.
Yeah, it was a very cute movie. It was definitely worth it's an hour and 45. You have to watch all the way through the credits, although I fast forwarded until I saw that there was an extra scene.
Oh yeah.
But there is an extra scene at the end that is hilarious.
I have heard about that, yeah.
Keanu Reeves' Batman is I think the best thing in the whole fucking movie. He is absolutely a riot. Between that and Squeaky Bruce, those I think are two of my favorite things in the entire movie. Crypto's
Squeaky Toy. Is Batman Squeaky Toy?
Yeah, it's Squeaky Bruce.
That better be official licensed.
yeah, exactly. Keanu Reeves says shit like that all the time. And actually, when Batman and Ace do their bond thing, and they actually bond together, and
they took me from my parents during my puppyhood.
Yeah.
My parents were killed. Yeah, it's when I heard that Keanu Reeves was doing Batman, I was doing the voice of Batman, I was like, right on. Okay. All right. I can see that. I think Keanu Reeves at one point could have made a decent Bruce Wayne and could have made a decent Batman. But the problem with that is that, like, playing him in live action, the problem with that is there'd be just so many jokes and memes about, whoa, Batman. There just wouldn't be. He's played Neo. He's been, Bill. He's just been. I mean, I just don't think people would take him. Well, no, they would eventually, but it would take a lot of work for him to kind of overcome some of the things that,
Tell you what,
the established things he's done.
He's fucking perfect as Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk. He's
great. It's absolutely perfect. It's one of my favorite parts about the game.
But anyway, yeah, overall, just great. I thought it was funny that Crypto's alter ego wears glasses, and that's and he's Bark
Kent, yeah. Jesus Christ. I saw that too. I was like, Bark Kent, really? Come on, guys. Come on. All right.
And the bad guy is a guinea pig that lost all its hair and idolizes Lex Luthor.
Of course. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a guinea pig that was experimented on by Luthor. And in one of the experiments, she loses all of her hair, and so she's bald just like Luthor. And so she thinks that they've bonded and that they're meant to be together. And so she's doing all this for him.
Oh man.
But yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that. I'll have to look. I've been meaning to, like I said, been meaning to look it up, and or meaning to watch it. Yes. I just haven't had a chance.
Yes, CD, the Flash Turtle.
Yep. Now doesn't one of the characters get a Green Lantern ring too? Does one of the animals get a Green Lantern?
Squirrel.
Ring? The squirrel. Chip.
Yep.
Is it Chip the squirrel?
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is Chip is actually a Green Lantern in the Green Lantern Corps. One of the Green Lanterns of the Corps was a squirrel from another world, from a planet populated by squirrel-like aliens, kind of like the way Rocket Raccoon is an alien that looks like a raccoon.
Well, Chip, but Rocket Raccoon's different. He's not actually a race. He was.
No, he's not. He's an animal
that was experimented on.
That just happens to look like a raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what it is. They've been real cagey and very kind of like dark about that. If you really watch the comic, or if you read the origin of the comic, it's very convoluted. But in the movies, they've been kind of like, I'm not quite sure. In DC Comics, Chip was actually a member of the Green Lantern Corps that came from another planet where they're populated by a race of squirrel-like aliens, and he's been a big part. So by making Chip the Green Lantern in this movie, it's a little, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But I am excited. I'm excited to watch it. I think it. I mean, I'll watch pretty much anything Dwayne Johnson is involved with. So
that's Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart.
And Kevin Hart, yeah, and Keanu Reeves, and
there's a shitload of people. Every voice in there is somebody that you know.
Yeah, pretty big group of.
But yeah,
stars.
Overall, I give it 2 thumbs up. I thought it was really entertaining. But yeah, I definitely check it out and definitely watch the last scene, because that last scene is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Well, it ties into Black Adam that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Well, yeah, and it's The Rock talking to himself. He
3 times.
What's that?
It's The Rock doing the voice of
both
Black
dogs.
Adam and both dogs.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. I think it's isn't John Krasinski does the voice of Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I think, and apparently it's successful enough that we'll probably see sequels. So that's cool.
But yeah, so do you have anything else before we get into She-Hulk?
I had something, but I have to. Oh, so a new Wakanda Forever trailer.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
This week. Yeah, it basically shows a lot more about a lot more of Namor. I mean, this is the previous one was a teaser trailer. This is more of an actual trailer. It gives us a little more glimpses of Ironheart and her armor. It gives us more glimpses of Namor and more of the kind of the undersea looks and stuff. The fact that Namor was apparently almost a prophesized like invader.
We get our first look at the Black Panther too.
Yeah, but at the very end, and it's still kind of like quick, and they're not,
It's not revealing who's actually in the Panther suit.
No, but you can tell it's a female. You can tell it's a woman. And
well, the speculation is it's one of three people.
Shuri,
his
sister.
Yeah, or what's her name? The captain of the guard.
From the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, the Dora Milaje. Or it's Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston, his mother. Now, there has been speculation that Angelica Houston's character, the Queen, is in the suit at the beginning at some point. Like she takes on the role of the Black Panther at the beginning because she is acting as the queen of the nation after he dies. But there's so much speculation at the moment. There's so many people that are just like, I don't know what we're gonna see here, but it looks amazing. Like the trailer as much as I am sad to see that they didn't recast T'Challa, this does look like it's going to be fucking amazing. Like,
and we don't really have that long.
No, November 11th.
Yep,
right around the corner.
Just over a month.
We also, I don't think we really talked about it, but they did announce too that one of the Marvel shows, one of the shows that they were planning, Armor Wars, is now going to be.
We talked about that last week.
Did we talk about it?
I
thought we talked about it. Are you sure?
Yep.
Because I thought we discussed it briefly on our game show.
No, we talked about it last week. I actually brought it up. It was.
Okay. My brain doesn't work very well right now. So yeah, that's kind of exciting too. I mean, me personally, I'm really loving the shows, and I love that the shows are giving us more and more stuff all the time.
She-Hulk has been one of my favorites, and
right.
I wasn't sure about it, but I have loved this show.
Absolutely loved it. So that's a really good segue. She-Hulk.
Well, Andor's been really good too. The so far, I haven't watched episode 4 yet, or 5.
Still haven't watched it.
We did watch 4. That's what it was. We did watch 4. Sorry.
It's killing me. I've been meaning to watch it because, like my housemate says it's amazing. You've said it's amazing. I just haven't had time to sit down and I guess I could have done it while I was, convalescing today, but I slept and then I gamed for a while. So,
anyway, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, unbelievably good.
Episode
7. Yeah.
We only have 2 episodes left after this one.
Now, in the previous episode was the wedding episode.
The Just Jen,
right? It was a really funny episode. I loved how she looked at the camera and said, "Yeah, we're doing a wedding episode in the middle of the season, where it does or something like
doesn't make sense, and it seems at an inconvenient point, just like weddings
are." Yeah, I was like, "Fuck, that's hilarious." So yeah, we saw that, and we see Jen meet a guy named Josh at the wedding. So then at the beginning of this episode, we see her
dating Josh,
dating him, going out on a couple of dates. And by date number 3, I mean, they look there, they're having a great time. He's obviously into her. She's not all shulky, which was cool how they, in the previous episode, they did actually use that nickname, Shulky, which is kind of one of the things she's called by her friends in the superhero community.
But you see them like they at the end of the first date, he goes to shake hands and she goes to hug him, and then they shake hands and she goes inside.
And it's awkward, and she goes inside. And then she decides not to kiss him on the second date, and then she goes, wait a minute, and turns around, and he's not there. And, okay. And then on the third date,
he just grabs his arm and pulls him inside.
Yeah. So they obviously, and then she wakes up the next morning and he's gone. She texts him and then he ghosts her. And she's just like, now for the next, because she was having a great time and the guy seems cool. And me being me and knowing, I mean, Josh was a character that I don't think they've like created him, or that he's not, I don't think he's an established character in the Marvel universe. I think they created him, but just the way I know they write things, I don't trust him. And I think
I didn't trust him the whole time. I'm like, nope.
Right.
It's like a Joss Whedon show. She can't be happy.
No. So anyway, she texts him. He never responds. He ghosts her for like.
My thing was is he just a dick or is he a bad guy?
Right. So I'm like, So she goes to work. She does her thing. Nikki tells her
she's constantly checking.
Forget about it. She's constantly like nonstop, like even worse than normal. I think for like normal people.
She's in meetings and checking her phone.
I've been in that situation before where I've been like I've like been with somebody, had a great time, whatever, and I was waiting on pins and needles for that initial either text or phone call. Or it's been a while since I've dated. I mean, I've been with Stella for 7 years, so but no, I guess it's been long enough that where I'd be like, the last girl that I was dating before her was like, ooh, I wonder when she's gonna text me back, you know. You know, and or when should I text her, you know, that kind of thing.
There is no reason in this day and age for you not to respond to a text.
Yeah. So she ends up getting a phone call from Blonsky's. It's Sunday. She still hasn't heard from them.
Yeah.
And she gets a call from Blonsky, or Blonsky's parole officer. They got a notification that his ankle monitor had malfunctioned. So he was like, Ms. Walters, yeah, I think you could maybe go up there with me.
Meet me up there
just in case, you know, up to his retreat.
Yeah, you know, because he probably wants his lawyer. It's probably a good idea for his lawyer to be there.
Right. He's probably somewhere in Northern California.
Yeah. And he's and then she's like, she says something about She-Hulk. He's like, well, yeah, that wouldn't hurt either.
Yeah. Because they couldn't afford the to you know, pretty much bring in a strike team just to like check
just in case.
So she's like, yeah, I'll go. So she goes, and it's
and she's checking her phone the entire drive.
The entire time. She ends up singing "Mbop" by Hanson. That hurt me base level.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm like,
I blocked that out. You just had to bring that back. I forgot about that part. But it's a beautiful drive up the coast, and
yeah, it was bad. And yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful drive, and they get there, and she just apparently she has a buzzer.
Well, no, he's at the gate, and it starts to open and as she's pulling in. And
well, that's what I mean. Like maybe she had one already because she was his lawyer or something, or she had a code that she could.
I don't think so. I think it was just that he was trying to get somebody to let him in, and they finally opened it up just as she.
Oh yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe. So then she pulls in. The two of them pull in, and then he's like, "Okay, do your whole green thing and put on your green suit or get Jolly Green or whatever you do." She goes, "It's called hulking out." Okay, yeah.
And she's like, "No," and she's just like, Blonsky. Yeah. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that to the 10-foot tall lizard guy.
Right, that was it. Yeah, but she does end up hulking out, and so she's standing there, and it's just wild because, like, Blonsky has truly. This is a completely different fucking character from the first movie. I mean, he is completely fucking.
Yeah, the guy's sitting there looking at his ankle bracelet, and he's got his foot up there, and he just keeps flexing his foot, and the guy's like, "Oh no, it's just malfunctioning." It's
I took a little shock from the electric fence from my chicken, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, but it's like I said, it's so nuts because in the first Hulk movie, Blonsky was a fighter. He was a military guy. He was like, he volunteered for medical to take medical,
become a super soldier is what he thought he was going to do.
Super soldier, right? He thought he was going to, and which is one of the things that I liked about what he talked about in the first episode that he was in, where he's like, I thought I was going to be Captain America, and instead they turn him into a monster. And now, in all honesty, I mean, if you're gonna turn it into a monster, that's not a bad one to be able to turn back and forth into. I'm this super strong fucking lizard guy that he can completely control going back and forth. But I've always liked Tim Roth as an actor. He's a hell of an actor, and so seeing him in this role has been just really, really fun for me, and seeing the character grow, because we do see a lot of him becoming. He has become what he had sought out to do, basically a self-help guru.
Mm-hmm.
And so the parole officer checks the thing and is like, okay, and then he beats feet out, man. She's like, gets the fuck out of Dodge. And the two of them are chatting, Jennifer and Blonsky are chatting, and Emil. And all of a sudden you see a guy get thrown through the air and land on her car. And you see another dude with horns and who's getting ready to charge this guy.
Who just threw him on the car. And instead you see Jennifer just grab him by the horn, whip him around and throw him. She hulked out all of a sudden.
Hulked out, yeah.
It's like instantly, and then changed back right away.
Yeah. And you're like, and she's like, hey. And he's like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. So you go, apologize to my Prius Prime with money. I love the fact that she's got a Prius Prime too. It's just like, and she said that. She didn't just say my car or my Prius or my Prius Prime, So anyway, we learned that these are some pretty, some relatively obscure Marvel characters, and they
were deep cuts, man. They were
some deep cuts. So they're staying at Emil Blonsky's retreat, trying to learn about themselves. Now it was interesting
and better themselves,
right? Now what was interesting, and the whole thing was very much a red herring that we find out later, but I mean, most of them, some of them are villains. Most of them are villains, actually.
Well,
and,
I love that when he's showing her around, before he even meet them, he's showing her everything in, like, the yurt, and you can get your sweat on, and just the way he's describing it.
I'm not gonna get in your sweat. I'm not doing that sweat here. So, but yeah, so then she goes into she runs into she's looking for a signal the whole time, trying to find a signal, because they call the tow truck, and the tow truck's gonna be a while before they can get to her, and the guy is like, he's got no cell signal up there, no Wi-Fi.
And he says that's one of the reasons he picked it.
Right. And so they go, she's walking around trying to find signal. She finds one place that there's signal, and it's in the place where they have their therapy sessions.
Their group therapy.
And so far we've met Manbull, who was apparently an experiment, who had been experimented on. And he also meet Alaguila, which means the eagle in Spanish. And he is he's a Spanish, and he actually,
I am not the matador.
He's a Spanish superhero. He's actually a mutant too. And his mutant ability is that he can channel bioelectricity through metal objects. So he became a swordsman, and he learned how to channel his electric energy.
His outfit
through his sword.
His outfit does look very Matador-esque.
Yes,
which is why when he's fighting Manbull, and he's like, "No, I am not a Matador." That would just be cliche. Our fight would just be cliche. Then
just be cliche. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was really funny, and the fact that they were obviously friends and had obviously bonded, and things like. I mean, even during this therapy session, they're like, "Don't you think this is kind of unhealthy? You two change seats. Are you happy now? And the one guy goes, "Spanish is not a culture; it's a language." You've never heard of the country of Spain? Fucking Porcupine. But all of those characters have a history. I believe Man-Bull was I think one of She-Hulk's villains or whatever.
Yeah, I think he was.
Misunderstood villains. Eliguila
Porcupine.
was Porcupine as well. I was getting to it, but Eliguila has been in the comics over the years. I think particularly back when they were pushing for more of a multicultural, like creating characters from around the world. Porcupine is actually an older character.
Yeah.
He was an armored character, and they did a really good job like recreating the look of his original.
They did. And what's funny is the QR code from this week actually is a comic. It's the first appearance of Porcupine.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. And then of course there was Sanguine, who said he was a vampire. I drew a blank on personally.
He's actually in Marvel. He's one of the first actual vampires, and he was from the Dracula comics.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. And then of course the Wrecker walks in.
Yeah, he's the last one to walk in.
And he came from the yurt.
Yeah, he was hurting for a yurtin.
He was hurting for a yurtin. Oh my God. I was hoping you weren't going to repeat it, but you did.
Well, I was going to repeat it again anyway, because Jen says it later.
Yeah, she does. But anyway, so she realizes who he is. He was the guy with the magic crowbar.
And she immediately
attacked her. Yeah, immediately hooked up, attacked him because he and his 3 cronies attacked her behind her.
The Wrecking Crew.
Her apartment, the Wrecking Crew. The problem with this is, in the comics, the Wrecking Crew are irredeemable assholes. They're all kind of pricks. One of them is actually like a theoretical physicist, like Wrecking Ball. In the comics, Wrecking Ball is actually like a doctor and a brilliant scientist, but he really enjoyed working in. He didn't gel well with the academic community, so he ended up taking a job working in construction because he liked working with his hands and working, whatever. And when the Wrecker got his magic crowbar, essentially, he was able to use the power of that crowbar to empower his 3 friends, and they became the Wrecking Crew. And they were all, very powerful altogether, but they are that kind of B or C level villain group that shows up, makes a noise, is a pain in the ass, and then gets their asses kicked by whoever they're in the comic, whoever's
whoever they're fighting against eventually goes, right. Here, you drop this.
Yeah.
And hands them their ass.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is the Wrecker, who's essentially their leader, he is an irredeemable asshole. He is a bully and a prick, and he's all these things. He's a bad guy. And the idea of Garth going to, and I think his name is Garth, going to a retreat like this to become a better person is one of the bigger problems I'm having with the whole idea, with just like, oh my God, he's a villain, he's not.
So Blonsky being the head of a super powered retreat is okay, and being this
no guru. That's not okay either, but at least there's a lot more. They've established a lot more. I mean, that there's more background stuff that, well, he's been in prison and he's been working on
his 7 soulmates himself. Weren't there,
right? Yeah, that's right. I wanted to see his 7 soulmates running around there at some point, but I was just like, at least they set that up. With this, we had one short scene with the Wrecking Crew a couple episodes ago, and now all of a sudden this guy is, I don't know, I just had a bit of a problem with it, but it was still fine. I mean, it's not as bad as Titania's, greatest enemy is tile flooring.
Yeah,
I mean, that cracked me up. She took a punch from Jennifer in the face,
and her veneers
that
are fine.
Didn't fuck up her teeth, but falling face first, tripping and falling face first that fucked up her veneers. So okay. Anyway, to get back to this episode though, she does choose to, instead of, tearing the Wrecker apart, she does choose to sit in the circle with everybody and have some therapeutic moments.
And that was some funny shit.
That was some funny shit. Some awesome shit too.
Oh yeah.
Some really great stuff. Like how she explained about what some of us have been seeing about how she's pretty great, but she just doesn't stand out in the crowd as much as some other people. But now when she's She-Hulk, she definitely does. And she's seeing how the other half lives.
Her description of, we've all got that one friend that's better looking, more more attractive, better, more athletic, that gets all the attention.
Right. And then
She-Hulk is that friend.
Right. She's that person now. She can be that person whenever she wants to.
Right. But the problem is she's the same person.
Right.
So She-Hulk gets all that attention, but nobody pays attention to Jen.
Right. Which is one of the things that was great about Josh, why she was really enjoying Josh, because Josh didn't ask her about She-Hulk. He just got he was dating her as her.
Yep.
And which was the other thing that made me really suspicious. Because as much as you do want that for her, we know that in this show that's not going to happen, not right away.
Yeah.
So we did get to see
but
her come to that kind of that realization.
Well, and her opening up and then all of them bonding with her. And like we must kill him.
Yeah, that was right.
He deserves to die.
He deserves to die.
and what's his name? El
Aguila
stands up and he's like, "We should kill him!" And he shoots lightning out of his sword. And Blas says, "Hey, you've been told about shooting lightning during group."
Well, he calls it bioelectricity, which was one of those, which was like, holy shit, they did the research.
Yeah.
They didn't just call it shooting electricity or shooting
bioelectricity during group.
It was like, holy shit, yeah, that's great. It did the fucking research. So, and his original costume, if you look him up, like on one of his first costumes and stuff, it was very swashbucklery. Yeah. And he's like, because it's funny, he's like, I am not a matador.
I did do a little
swash. I am a swashbuckler.
To tell you the truth, I did do a little light matadoring in college.
In college, yeah. It's like he did a little bit of light porn in college. But yeah, it was like some really, really fun stuff. But I loved how she has this breakthrough. She,
Well, she's like, and then she's all about it. She's like, you know what? I'm hurting for a year.
Yep. I was like, oh my God.
And she does she does that, and she's really getting into the whole thing.
I do like how to Emo referred to Aguila as Alejandro, which is his name. I just looked him up, Alejandro Montoya, and Earth 616. And yeah, his early costume. In fact, the costume he's wearing in the show is a lot more fancy than the one that they have showing here. It's just he's got like red, kind of close-fitting tights, black boots, a black shirt with a big gold eagle on it, and like a red Zorro like kind of mask, red gloves, and like a Spanish kind of wide-brimmed Zorro hat. He looks like the Marvel version of Zorro. Except instead of using and he's using looks like a saber. He originally it's the eagle, and his first appearance was in Power Man and Iron Fist number 58 in May of 79, and he is a mutant.
Yep. Yeah, I saw a thing talking now about like all the mutants confirmed to be in the MCU now, and it was like showing all of them, including like a bunch of the people from this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Sanguine actually is a vampire in this, where he was in the comics, because he was out in the middle of the day.
Yeah. No, I think Blonsky had said that he thinks he's a vampire
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like
He said
that.
he thinks he's a vampire. Like
Yeah.
he's like, what was it he said to Jen that you
You're
are
like, and
great
tasty.
and tasty.
Tasty. Oh,
I mean, it's
and
hard.
somebody bail me out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's some funny
Like,
shit.
you are just
So,
too obsessed with blood, man.
right. So wasn't there a side story too, or was this all her? It was all her.
This was all her.
Yeah.
This week.
Mhm.
The side story was her and what's her name?
Nikki.
Nikki, because at first she's like, are you like looking at that intelligentsia site again?
Oh, they did a little bit of that.
Yeah, and Jen was like, no, I don't care what those whack jobs are saying.
Yeah. But they did but yeah, it was so the episode ends where she pretty much gets in her car. Oh, they did have a breakthrough with Porcupine too, where he finally took his mask
took
off.
his mask off, and everyone, oh my god!
And it pretty much, yeah, I
smells
guess it
like
smelled
a fart.
pretty bad.
How many hours a day do you spend in that?
Yikes! Yeah, and he was like, maybe you should put the mask back on until we can get it laundered.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does, but he does take his mask off at one point, and then they get her in the. This is funny. I looked it up when I looked up El Aguila. Several other characters from that episode have also come up just on this website because it's the Marvel database, because it sounds like other people have been looking up these characters like Porcupine and Manbull. William Torrens. Oh man, really? His first appearance was in 1971 in Daredevil number 78. Oh, God. So anyway, Jen says goodbye. They made her a nice little card, and they're all like, "Hey, great!" And she gets in the tow truck and drives off. And we do see, because after they also encouraged her to delete Josh's number and all this shit, which she did. And then we see what really happened that night.
What's funny is, so one thing before we get into that, one of the things I saw online was the Thunderbolts we all want, and it shows the Red Hulk and Abomination and U.S. Agent and Black Widow and basically all of those, all the ones that we've been talking about, and then the real Thunderbolts in the MCU, and it shows them.
Right, that's funny. That's what we're gonna get right there. No, we're gonna get. They've already announced the cast, and I'm hoping they end up adding to it personally, adding some more of the characters. We'll see.
That'll be something we can talk about right after this too, real quick.
Yeah.
Before we close out, but yes, but we do see, back to what you were saying. We do see what actually happened on that night. We go 3 nights back.
Mm-hmm. I love how she goes when she saw Garth too. When she saw the record, she was like, did we previously on him?
Yeah.
Screw it, we'll do it now. Previously on that guy?
Yeah.
I was like, oh damn, that is funny. So yeah, we go 3 days earlier though, and we see that they go to bed, and we see she's asleep, and we see Josh kind of getting up, and he's redressing, and he takes his phone and sets his phone down on her phone, and obviously clones her phone, copies the entire thing, and then sends a text, and his name is Hulk King.
Well, no, that's who he's sending it to.
Oh, he's sending it to Hulk King, and
we've seen Hulk King before in messages,
right, on the intelligentsia site.
No, actually, it was a text message on somebody else's phone, I think.
Are you sure?
I think it was the Wrecking Crew was texting Hulk
King.
King.
Maybe that might have been it. Yeah, okay.
They were texting Hulk King to say they failed.
And then, and that he apparently was able, and he took a picture of her while she was asleep.
Well, he put Hulk or green stuff, blood vial. Basically, he
and
got her blood.
That he got her blood. Now, I mean, depending, that's the thing. If you're a good phlebotomist, you can extract somebody's blood without them even feeling it. So who's to say how they did it? But
yeah, I'm not sure how he got it.
It's entirely possible. I mean, if she's Jen, that her skin can be pierced.
Yep.
So,
but then he takes a picture of her laying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, is that like a trophy or what?
That or proof that he did it. Proof that he got it and got in.
She's a heavy sleeper though, because that flash.
She must be.
That flash would have woke me up.
Yeah, absolutely. That and honestly, anybody stick me with a needle, I'm waking the fuck up. I don't care how good you are at it. Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, and then that's where it left, and we didn't have another extra scene.
Nope. There hasn't been extra scenes on it for the last couple episodes.
Yeah, there were for like the first 3, and then they stopped.
Right.
And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you get us all set up and ready for this. Now, what I want to see is a movie where She-Hulk and Deadpool are both in the movie.
The world couldn't handle it.
I want to see them fight over breaking the fourth wall.
The world couldn't handle it, Chris.
I want to see both of them try to address the crowd, address the audience at the same time, and be like, "Oh, no, you go. No, you go. You can." But no, one of the things I don't know if we talked about. I don't remember if we talked about this, but speaking of the Thunderbolts from before, that the MCU is looking at recasting Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes, and it got leaked that they would love for it to be Harrison Ford.
Yep. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think he'd be a bad Thunderbolt Ross.
No, I think he'd be fine, honestly. I would like to see somebody else, a scotch younger, just because I'd like to see this character played a little bit longer. And I mean, Harrison Ford's pretty goddamn old now. I mean, was he 80 now?
He's up there.
He's at least in his 70s. I know he was.
I think he's in his 70s.
When he filmed, when they filmed Indiana Jones, or no?
He is 80 right now.
Yeah, he's 80. That's the thing about, we've got some of these beloved actors that they want to do things with, and then you're like, guys are getting old. I mean, Patrick Stewart is 81. I mean,
yeah, he's like 2 years. He's like 2 years younger, or 2 months younger than my dad.
Wow, wild. Let's see here. I'm looking at the cast of She-Hulk here, just kind of like seeing what else that some of them have done.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't hate that, but I agree with you. I think if they could find somebody slightly younger to do it, I think it'd be good.
Maybe just a good idea, some of these guys aren't, they're not young people anymore,
Right. I mean, what is that? 50, 70. I mean, William Hurt was 72 when he passed.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't all that much younger than Harrison Ford.
No, he wasn't, but but still, I mean, it was 72 when he passed, which was like last year. When he was doing
this year,
when he did,
actually, it was this year.
Just was previous.
So I mean, technically, he's 8 years younger than Harrison Ford.
Right. When he was cast as Thunderbolt Ross, it was like 10 years ago. So he was in his 60s.
His first appearance was 2018 or 2008, wasn't it? Wasn't he in the post-credit scene of Iron Man?
Thunderbolt Ross was in the entire movie
of Iron Man.
Oh no, not in Iron Man. He was
in the Hulk.
He was in the Hulk. He was in the
Right,
entire
but I think
film of the
I think
Hulk.
his first appearance was actually in the credits after credit scene, wasn't it?
No, the after credit scene of Iron Man was with Nick Fury.
Oh, that's right. He was in
So
the after credit scene of Iron Man 2, I think. When he's at the
after
bar and
credits,
Tony goes to visit him.
that was the after credit scene of the Hulk was Thunderbolt Ross in
Is that what it was?
drinking. Hmm.
I haven't seen the Hulk in a long
And then
time.
Iron Man, and then Tony came in, and that was done as just like that was like truly the beginning of the multiverse of the MCU right there. Because they're like, oh, that's how they're gonna do it. And then from what I understand, it was also all like, I mean, the script for that scene was all like kind of off the cuff and stuff. He's like, oh, you always have such great suits, you know, and shit like that. So.
But
I think Harrison Ford would be great, but I'd like to maybe see a guy that was just maybe 10. He should be an older guy. He should be a general or colonel or whatever that is a General Thunderbolt Ross. There are no young generals, you know, but still maybe somebody that's not, 80. You know, let's get somebody that's a bit younger. Maybe somebody that is in there that is like, 55 or 60 or something like that. Just because I'd like to continue to see them playing the fucking part.
yeah.
But it's exciting. It is still exciting.
I mean, with that, and then with the whole, so one of the other things I saw was I saw a poster. It was a movie poster, and it said Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman in The Proposal, and it shows like Hugh Jackman against the wall, like Sandra Bullock is in The Proposal, and Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool outfit standing there, and he's holding up a sign, and it says. And it said something about we'll just keep asking, and it showed like fans equal happy, studio equals money, me will quit calling.
Well, it's definitely, I mean, that we talked about that last week, and it is a big deal. I mean, seeing that announcement and everything, and seeing him, back in the suit, man, that's pretty freaking great, you know.
Yep.
I wasn't sure about Hugh Jackman at the beginning, because I was like, oh man, they cast an Australian guy, and the casting is really, really tall, and I mean, I'd really have liked to have seen, a Canadian or somebody really short, that kind of thing, and because Wolverine is traditionally, I mean, like we have talked about this before, that he was very, very short, and like 5'3". It actually lists it in the old Marvel universe that he was 5'3". But Hugh Jackman's 6 foot, and I think it's might even be a little bit taller than that. And I was just like, oh, I don't know, but he ended up killing it. He did a great job. He really embodied the character and became Wolverine for everybody. For the world, kind of like the way
6'3".
6'3". Okay, so he's a foot taller than Wolverine is supposed to be depicted in the comic books. Just like Tobey Maguire became Spider-Man for so many people, and Christopher Reeve became Superman for so many people. But Michael Keaton became Batman for so many people, and the thing is there has never been another Wolverine. There's been multiple Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, but never been another Wolverine. So these are whoever does that is those are some big shoes to fill, and it should be interesting to see who does that. But and the other thing too is that Logan was such an amazing movie. It's such an amazing swan song. Like to say goodbye to the character, and to say goodbye, or just say goodbye to Hugh Jackman playing that character. It was so good. It was Old Man Logan. I mean, it's supposed to only take place in 29 too, which something fucking happens that wrecked the fucking world. And I mean, it's not wrecked, but obviously there's some shit has happened. And and it's like, holy crap, you know, I mean, it was such an incredible film. I'm glad that they're not touching it, that they're going to be like, okay, this obviously happens before that.
Well, it's going to be a different universe and stuff like that too, I
Right,
think. But,
exactly.
But the thing is, CD said, I will watch that. Technically, it's not Marvel, right? No, this one will be Marvel. That's the whole thing.
Right.
He even, Ryan Reynolds even mentions, he's like, my first appearance in the MCU. It's got to be special.
It's Deadpool's introduction to the MCU, which, if that's the case, unless there is another major mutant kind of revelation in the next couple movies or whatever, that could potentially be the introduction of one of the X-Men to the Marvel universe. Because we had Professor X in a Multiverse of Madness, but it was the Professor X of another universe. We also had they've hinted that Ms. Marvel is a mutant. Okay, but we still not sure how they're going to do that.
It's the first time they used the mutant, the M word in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, we'll see how that all plays out. But this could potentially be the first entrance of an X-Man into the Marvel universe. I'm very curious to see how they're going to introduce the mutants into the MCU. You know, why they didn't get involved earlier. Where were they during the invasion in New York? Where were they during the snap? What happened during, you know, all that shit.
Yep.
Same thing with the Fantastic Four. You know, how are they going to introduce those characters? Are they going to introduce them as new characters? Or are they going to introduce them as
weren't you
older
guys from
retro?
The 60s?
Yeah. Didn't you chart in the 60s?
Yeah.
So, Chris, we should probably wrap things up at 10 to 10. Yep. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I know there's a little out of it. I'm still kind of medicine heady. I gotta kind of get myself all psyched up to go back to work tomorrow.
Woot, woot, woot.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a nice day, though.
Yeah, I think another nice day. I think the rest of the week is actually supposed to be relatively nice. I
think Friday Thursday is supposed to rain, and Friday we're supposed to drop back to like 51 as a high.
Great. Well, just gotta get it while we can. 77 tomorrow, 76 on Thursday. Yep, and 56 on Friday. Fantastic. But then 59 and 67 on Saturday and Sunday. So what are you gonna do? 67 on Sunday. So
this is that roller coaster that fucks with everyone's sinuses.
Fucks with everybody's sinuses and everybody. You know, I felt bad just taking these last 2 days because there's so much to do for work right now.
CD said, "Yep, sharpen your snow shovels any day now." Yeah, you know, my buddy just signed us up for a golf outing on October 23rd. I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, there could be fucking snow on the ground.
That just guarantees it's gonna snow. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Guys, we're here every Tuesday night at 8. Here on Drinking Nerds. You can download and stream us at all the places you find quality podcasting, guys. We are on the Google Play Store. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, Odyssey, all the fucking places. You can also download and stream each and every one of our shows at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. Come and check us out, guys.
You can also follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds, Instagram, Drinking Nerds. You can follow me specifically on Twitter at Detroit Beer Guy. You can follow Russ on Twitter now at Top Hat Russ. So we are all over the social medias. We're not doing the TikToks or anything like that, but
we're not doing the TikToks yet. But I'm sure there will be some point that you'll see a couple of older. Couple of Gen Xers trying to jump on that bandwagon.
Hey, there's some good Gen X TikTok out there from what.
There's some fantastic shit. There's some really good.
There's a woman that does like the Gen X report. It's fucking hilarious.
No, I've seen her. Does she like kind of got like horn rimmed glasses and she got
I think so, yeah.
Black hair. Dude, she's hilarious. There's some really, I gotta admit, there's some really funny stuff on TikTok. There's some really creative, really cool shit on TikTok. And I'm not that kind of guy that's like, oh fuck anything new. I don't want to see the new. No, man, give me the new shit. I love it.
There's a reason I don't do TikTok is because I get stuck in fucking YouTube rabbit holes. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need
It's
30
even
second
easier.
videos.
Dude, it's even easier.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't need something even easier to get stuck into a rabbit hole on.
And they're not just 30 seconds. I think they've extended it to like a 2-minute video now.
I think you have to
can
get so
do 2
many
minutes.
viewers before you can.
Yeah.
You get like 10 seconds to start, and then as you get more viewers and followers, you get more time.
I think it might be longer than 10 seconds. But yeah, I think you're right, though. It does definitely, like, it gets more as you get more popular.
I saw somebody, Renee and I saw somebody, we were driving yesterday. They saw a tripod with a cell phone on it, and they were over by the railroad tracks over here by our house. And Renee's like, oh, it looks like somebody's getting ready to do some TikTok. I'm like, on the railroad tracks? That's fucking stupid.
That's really stupid. I saw some people filming, like on my way home I was running some errands around the other day, and I think it was Sunday. I was coming home, and I saw some people filming on the side of the road, on the side of the street, like driving through Detroit. I had to go down to the Masonic Temple for some Theater Bazaar stuff on Sunday after I got done with rehearsal. And anyway. And so we're driving around and whatever, and holy shit, yeah, they're filming something, and I think it looked like it was more than just a TikTok, but it could have been for all I know. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. But all right, well, I think that's gonna about do it.
That should do it.
So until next time.
Until next time.
Sláinte. Okay, cool. All right, have a good week, everybody.
Good night.